Hey everybody, I'm Tamani Wooley. I'm an anchor reporter with Spectrum News. Welcome to our studio where we anchor. I spent 10 years at New York One building my career, and then a smart boss I had once, who was my news director at Transit News, said, Tamani, you should go be a big fish in a small pond. And you know what? He was right. 4 years ago, I moved up here to Albany, New York for our sister station, Spectrum News, and I love it. This community has embraced me in an incredible way. I get to do the most amazing stories. They have a great art scene, and I couldn't be happier. So, Professor Mitchell, you definitely gave me some good advice. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of what an anchor studio looks like. This is the desk where we can sit. This is good for 1 or 2 anchors, and you see it's wide enough to be socially distanced. Of course, sanitizing wipes are never too far away. This is our LED screen back here. Right now it has our logo, but when we do stories, some of the video from the stories pops up back here. And we just have some, some nice aesthetic things like the background of the city of Albany. And as you walk around, you can see we have a screen here where we do some of our standing shots. And here are teleprompters. I like to use a hand teleprompter cue that you can see helps things move up and down when I'm reading. You can see that it goes up, it goes down. Some people like to use a foot pedal, but I just find that I have more control when I use the hand one. And hey, back there you see Decision 2020, because that is a big thing with news right now. It's all about the election. So this is, what an anchor studio looks like. And there's room over there when I host a show. I have a table and chairs that we sit at that's more casual. And this is where our weather person stands. Instead of the green screen, now with digital, a lot of times they just stand in front of an LED screen. So Professor Mitchell wanted me to talk to you a bit about how to do an engaging interview online. And to me, it's really no different than meeting with the person. You're still just talking to somebody like you're sitting across the table from them at a coffee shop, right? You want to engage them. You want to make sure that you have set some kind of rapport in the beginning. So I never start an interview without first just getting to know the person, setting them at ease, whether I'm doing it in person or whether I'm doing it via Zoom or Google Meet. So here's something I did with some kids that were a little nervous at the beginning, but I warmed them up. Love it. So listen, we have Aiden Doyle, who plays the trombone. Hey, Aiden, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So how has being able to still rehearse and keep connected with your fellow musicians helped you?
Well, it's helped a lot. It's very cool to see the end product after you, you do some sort of collaboration. And especially since we have all this free time to now, I know how other people use it, but I use a lot of it to practice.
I love it. Hey, listen, and your fellow musician, Josh Klamka, who plays the piano, is joining us as well. What up, Josh?
Hello.
So one of my biggest regrets is not keeping up with my piano lessons. So shout out to you for being the pianist extraordinaire. How has being able to play the piano and rehearse with SEO helped you through this crisis?
Well, there's not a lot to do, and you have so much time. So having something to put your energy towards is really fun. And playing with all my friends, it's a great motivator.
Nice. And what does playing with SEO mean to you?
It's everything, really. It's you learn so much, you grow so much. I'm so much of a better musician than when I started.
So I think one of the main things that you have to do when you are interviewing people online, on top of making them feel at ease, is to make sure that you address them by name, right? Because it's kind of, you don't have that interpersonal connection right away, so they don't always know who you're talking to. So make sure that you address your individual person by name if you're doing more than one person. Also have your questions prepared, and be prepared also for technical glitches. They're going to happen. Just address them, because your audience is very forgiving if you address what they're seeing, because so many people are doing things via Zoom anyway that they understand what's happening. Also make sure that your framing is good. Sometimes when you're looking at an interview done online and you see somebody looking off in the distance and you're like, what are they looking at? Make sure that you know where your camera is and that's what you're looking at, not necessarily at the person inside the screen, because you want to have what looks like direct eye contact with your audience and also with the person that you're interviewing. Take time before the interview. We spend about a good 10 minutes, my photographer, Nick Inko, and I, making sure they're lit well, making sure that our interview subject is centered in the frame, making sure that they have a nice background behind them, teaching them how to elevate their phone or their computer so they're not looking down. They have a more eye level. So all those things are very important. The basics that Professor Mitchell is going to teach you about framing and lighting go whether you're shooting with a traditional camera, whether you're shooting with a phone, a smartphone, whether you're in a studio or whether you're doing it via Google or whether you're doing it via Zoom. And so, like I said, I get to do some really interesting stories. I spent 10 years doing the doom and gloom, but here's something I want to show you about the kind of feature stories that I get to do now. So is there something that you eat or drink every day that you would say brings you joy and helps you stay nice and healthy in this ripe young age?
Yes, small glass of wine.
That's how you do it, Miss Muriel. That's how you do it. So listen, we have a surprise for you because we can't let you turn 105 without a big celebration because we know now with the social distancing that people can't come, but everyone needs to know you are living at home with your son, Jim, who's awesome, and he's the one who set this up with us, so we're so thankful to Jim. So my photographer, Nick Inko, is going to make a cameo appearance. Everybody, I want you to gather around the TV because we're going to sing Happy Birthday to Miss Muriel. Okay, everybody, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Muriel. Happy birthday to you. Okay, blow out the candles through the computer, Miss Muriel.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
So nice.
What I love about that story is that I took something with, a woman that's turned 105 now, who's not very interactive, right? My audience is used to me doing very interactive segments, which you'll see in the next one. And I was able to make it interactive along with Nick just by bringing in some key elements. And do you see how I invited our viewers in and said, hey, sing along with her? So you still want to make the viewer feel like they're an engaged part of your program, that you're with them, not talking at them. So on top, now that we're going out in the field a little bit more, I do get to do very interactive things. I eat a lot. I skateboard, I do arts and crafts, I do all kinds of fun things as well as fill and anchor here on the desk. So I'm going to send you out with this last thing, but remember, it's always the key principles: who, what, where, when, why. Good framing, make sure that you are relatable and you're just being yourself, whether it's a hard story or a feature story, because your viewer is going to connect with you. And please, please, please never underestimate the power of an internship. Because of the internship I did with Professor Mitchell, that got me into New York One, and I got promoted to a reporter from a news assistant in less than a year because of the skills I learned that he taught me. Feel free to keep in touch, everybody. I'm Tamani Wooley, and check out this last segment. And also, it's going to be a fun day. There's going to be live music, raffles. I mean, it's going to be a party going on here in Washington Park. So, Prezi, we're going to show you somebody who's going to show us how it's done. Come on, Prez. show them what I'm going to do right after you do it.
Oh.
Hey, oh! All right, everybody. Now I'm going to do it.
There you go.
I'm going to do exactly what Prezi did. Do you see it? Do you see it, everybody? Do you see me doing like Prezi? So listen, I just literally learned how to do this. I haven't been on a skateboard since I was 10. So no, you don't have to be perfect. And I just really learned today that there's a front end to a skateboard. That might sound silly, but I say that to say Tatiana and everybody's here to support you, to teach you what you need to know, so that skateboarding can become fun again, and so that you can just come out and be a kid for 3 hours on a beautiful Saturday. So give everybody that website to get more information.
nwralbany.org.
All right, now Tatiana's really going to show you how it's done. Go ahead, Mama.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yo,
see, and again, it's good.
It's that
because there
debris
was a
from that
stick.
storm. That storm.
It's still here in the park, but it's going to be gone by hopefully tomorrow. All right, you see everybody? That's the latest from here. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to make a little bit of a silly mess of yourself. It's all good. I just channeled my inner Wonder Woman. 4 to 7 here tomorrow. That's the latest from here, everybody. I'm Marty McFly, sending it back to you.